Alrighty, folks, we're 4-0 in our last 4 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium page. And the good news is I've got another crowd pleaser teaser going off here today. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Happy Wednesday to you. I typically call it hump day, but 4th of July falls on a Friday, so this week's kind of jumbled up, for a lot of working folks out there. I guess this is kind of a lot of people's Thursday. It's a lot of people's Friday as well, as they're looking to make that 4-day weekend start tomorrow. But anyway, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And once again, we're 4-0 in our last 4 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium page. Of course, if you sign up for that membership, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. And with that, folks, we're going to dive right into some free content. We're going to start off with the A's taking on the Rays, 12:10 Eastern first pitch. Tampa Bay's minus 225 at home, totals 9 runs. Ryan Pepio for Tampa Bay. Mitch Spence on the mound for the Athletics. Now, Spence comes into today's matchup with just 2 wins on the year, losing record on the season. And these A's pitchers have definitely been brutal for much of the season. They're allowing over 9.3 hits a game, bottom 3 in runs allowed. And they're facing a Tampa Bay lineup who's actually got little problems getting base runners. This is a top 5 hit producing lineup. Jonathan Aranda bats .325, on base percentage in the 400s. And Junior Caminero, 21 homers, 53 runs batted in. 3 out of the Rays' last 4 at Steinbrenner Field got over the total. Give me the Rays, Tampa Bay, minus 1.5, over 9. Cardinals, Pirates, 12:35 East. St. Louis is $1.35, totals 8.5. Sonny Gray for the Cardinals, Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. Keller's just 2-10 on the year, really not getting a ton of run support. Pittsburgh's currently got a bottom 5 run scoring lineup. And they're facing a Cardinals pitching staff who's definitely shown excellent control. These guys are walking only 2.7 batters per 9. That's nearly lowest in the league. And starting pitcher Sonny Gray has been no exception to that. 101 strikeouts, just 17 walks on this season. The righty's currently 8-2 with a 1.09 whip. Now, 4 out of the Redbirds' last 5 road games stayed under the total, 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the Cardinals minus 135, under 8.5. Tigers Nationals game 1, 105 Eastern first pitch. Detroit's minus $1.50 in game 1, totals 8.5. Tyler Holton for the Tigers, Trevor Williams for Washington. Now, Williams is just 3-9 with an ERA of 5.65. As a staff, the Nats have definitely struggled giving up runs. They're in the bottom 5 in runs allowed per contest. And unfortunately for them, they're facing a top 5 run-producing lineup in the Tigers. Riley Green with 19 homers, 63 ribbies. Gleyber Torres with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. Now, Detroit's last 3 straight on the road got over the total, 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. I like the Tigers minus 150, over 8.5 in game 1. Padres, Phillies game 1, 105 Eastern first pitch. San Diego's $1.20, totals 8.5. Mick Abel for Philadelphia, Nick Pivetta for San Diego. And despite a great year out of Pivetta, the former Phil, these Padres pitchers as a whole, they've struggled a bit with control. They're in the bottom 3 in walks per 9 on the road. Speaking of road games, the Pods do have a losing record away from Petco Park. Just a .444 win percentage in their travels. And they're facing a Phillies team on the other side who definitely plays their best baseball at Citizen Bank Park. They're 27-14 at home, pounding the baseball in front of their own crowd. Philadelphia's got a top 3 run-scoring lineup in their own stadium. Kyle Schwarber, 25 homers, 57 RBI. Bryce Harper with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. I like the Phillies plus $1 over 8.5 in Game 1. Brewers Mets Game 1, 1:10 Eastern first pitch in Flushing, Queens. The Mets are minus 135. Totals 8 runs. Clay Holmes for the Mets. Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. Now, Peralta's 8-4 on the year, ERA in the 2s. And as a team, the Brewers did get the W in 8 out of their last 10. They actually limited the Mets to under 7.1 hits a game in their recent last 10 head-to-head meetings. So if you're into historical trends, the Mets have certainly struggled with Brewer pitching. And we could potentially see more of the same in Game 1 here. New York has dropped their last 3 straight, posted a record of just 3-7 in their last 10. And out of the Mets' last 10 gatherings with the Brewers, going back to historical trends, well, New York's definitely struggled with Milwaukee pitching. The Mets were held to just 3.4 runs a game during that time frame. Now, no real surprise, folks. The under cashed in 60% of those 10 head-to-head meetings. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. And as far as this year's concerned, well, the Mets have seen unders in nearly 60% of their contests at Citi Field. I like the Brewers plus $1.15, under 8 in Game 1. Padres Phillies Game 2, 6:15 East. Philadelphia's $1.40 in Game 2. Totals 8 runs. Christopher Sanchez for Philadelphia. Dylan Cease for San Diego. Now, Cease is just 3-7 with an ERA of .453. And in their last 10 gatherings with the Phils, well, they've definitely struggled with this Philly lineup. The Pods allowed nearly 11 hits a game on average during that span. And once again, the Phils have been pounding the baseball at the bank. They were averaging nearly double-digit hits a game on their own diamond. I like the Phillies minus 140, over 8 in Game 2. Twins Marlins 6:40 East. Minnesota's $1.25, totals 9. Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins. Jansen Junk for Miami. Marlins with unders in their last 4 straight at home. Having a tough time at the plate at Lone Depot Park. The Marlins are a bottom 5 run scoring team in their own building. Meanwhile, the Twins really haven't been all that great at the plate themselves. Minnesota is a bottom 10 hit-producing team. When it comes to the total, 3 out of Minnesota's last 4 road games did fall under the number. I like the under 9 runs. Tigers Nationals Game 2, 6:45 Eastern first pitch. Washington's $1.20, totals 8.5. Mackenzie Gore for Washington, Jack Flaherty for Detroit. Now, the Tigers got the W in 5 out of their last 7 ball games, allowing just 3.8 runs per contest on the mound this season. And they're facing a Washington lineup who definitely struggles getting base runners. They really don't walk a whole lot, and they're actually in the bottom 10 in hits per game. I like Detroit plus $1, under 8.5 in Game 2. Yankees Blue Jays 7:07 East. New York's $1.20, totals 8.5. Will Warren for the Bombers. Jose Barrios for Toronto. 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings did get over the total. Blue Jays with overs in 3 out of their last 4 at home. And both squads doing some great stuff at the plate. Toronto striking out fewer times a game than any other team. They're actually averaging nearly double-digit hits a game at Rogers Center. Alejandro Kirk bats .306. Bo Bichette leads the roster in runs batted in. They're facing a Yankee lineup who walks more times a game than any other team, top 5 in runs per contest. Aaron Judge with 30 homers, 67 RBI. He's got the highest qualifying batting average and OPS average in the major leagues. And Trent Grisham, 15 homers, on-base percentage in the mid-300s. Now, when it comes to the total, the Blue Jays have seen overs in 75% of their divisional home games. I like the over 8.5. Reds, Bo Sox, 710 East. Boston's $1.35, totals 9. Brian Bayo for Boston, Nick Martinez for Cincinnati. Now, Martinez has a handful of wins on the year. Reds with W's in 5 out of their last 8. Since he also has a winning record in their interleague games, top 10 in runs per contest. Elly De La Cruz with 18 homers, 57 ribbies. TJ Friedl with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. And they're facing a Boston club who's definitely struggled at Fenway Park. They're walking more batters at home than any other staff besides one. And no real shock here, folks. They are in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. Of course, starting pitcher Brian Bayo certainly run into some problems himself. Just 3 wins on this season, whip of 1.44. 3 out of the Bo Sox last 4 at Fenway got over the total. 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Reds plus $1.15, over 9. Brewers Mets game 2, 710 East. Milwaukee's $1.30 in game 2, totals 8.5. Blade Tidwell for New York. Jacob Mizorowski for Milwaukee. And as good as Mizorowski's been, the Brewers have struggled a bit on the mound in their travels. They're walking a handful of batters per game on the road, bottom 10 in road strikeouts per contest. And they're facing a Mets lineup who doesn't fan a whole lot at the dish themselves, very patient at the plate with regards to walks. Juan Soto with an on-base percentage of .394, 20 home runs on this season. And Pete Alonso leads the clubhouse in runs batted in. Mets games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Brewers with overs in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. I like the Mets plus $1.10, over 8.5 in game 2. Angels Braves, 7:15 East. Atlanta's $1.35, totals 9.5. Didier Fuentes for the Braves. Yusei Kikuchi for Los Angeles. And I think a lot of folks will be fooled by Kikuchi's record. This guy's thrown quite well this season. The Cooch man's just 1 strikeout shy of the century mark. ERA of .279. Of course, as a team, the Angels played some pretty good baseball over the past few weeks. Winners of 6 out of their last 9. And they're facing a struggling Atlanta squad who lost 6 out of their last 9 themselves. They're a bottom 10 run scoring team. And through just 8+ innings of work this year, righty Didier Fuentes is 0-2 already. 3 out of the Braves' last 4 at Truist Park stayed under the total, 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the Angels plus $1.15, under 9.5. Orioles Rangers 8:05 East. Texas is $1.45, totals 9. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. Tomo Sugano for Baltimore. Now the O's are just 18-26 on the road. Haven't been great at the plate. Baltimore's averaging just 3.7 runs a game away from Camden Yards. And they're playing at Globe Life Field here today, which has proven to be a tough place to score at. The Rangers allow fewer runs a game at home than any other pitching staff. The starting pitcher, Jose Barrios, he's been a big contributor to that. He's got a winning record on the year, ERA of .326. And when it comes to the total, 68% of Ranger home games have fallen under the number. No real shock there, as once again, they're allowing fewer runs a game at home than any other staff. Of course, Baltimore with unders in 66% of their contests on the road this year themselves. I like the Rangers minus 145, under 9. Guardians Cubs 8:05 East. Chicago's $1.55, total 7.5. Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. Tanner Bybee for Cleveland. Now, Bybee's just 4-8 on the year. Guardians with the losses in their last 5 straight. During that skid, their pitching staff has allowed 6.4 runs a game during that span. And they're facing a dangerous lineup of hitters in the Cubs. Chicago's a top 3 run scoring team. Seiya Suzuki, 23 homers, 70 RBI. That's actually the second most ribbies in the major leagues. And Kyle Tucker's driven in 52 runners himself, OPS of 926. And because of that run support, starting pitcher Shota Imanaga, he comes into today's contest with a winning record. Actually, only 2 recorded losses on the season. Now, 2 out of the Cubs' last 3 in the friendly confines got over the total. 60% of the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Cubs minus 155, over 7.5. Astros Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Houston's minus 260, totals 11. Hunter Brown for Houston, Austin Gomber for Colorado. And Gomber's still in search of his first win. Rockies still can't hit for shit. They're striking out more times a game than any other lineup. Bottom 3 in runs per contest. They're going to face a Houston pitching staff who leads the league in strikeouts, actually limiting opposing batters to just 7.1 hits a game. And starting pitcher Hunter Brown's certainly helped out with that. 118 strikeouts, 1.74 ERA. Now, 6 out of the Astros' last 10 outings did stay under the total. Rockies games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like the Astros minus 1.5, under 11. Royals Mariners, 9:40 p.m. East. Seattle's $1.75, total 7.5. Logan Gilbert for the M's. Noah Cameron for Kansas City. And Cameron's had some real good stuff this season. ERA of 2.79, whip of 1.01. Of course, as a staff, these Royals pitchers are allowing only 3.7 runs a game. KC's been pretty good against the run line. They've been great, actually. The Royals are covering in nearly 70% of their road games. And they're facing a Seattle squad who actually has a losing record against the run line at home this year. They struggle making contact with the baseball. Seattle's in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per game in their own building. They're also averaging just 7.2 hits per 9 at T-Mobile Park. When it comes to the total, the under cashed in 7 out of the Royals' last 10 ball games. They've seen unders in nearly 60% of their contests away from Kauffman Stadium. Give me the Royals plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. All right, Giants, D-backs, 9:40 Eastern start. Arizona's $1.30, totals 8. Merrill Kelly for the D-backs, Landon Rupp for San Francisco. 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head gatherings did get over the total. Arizona with overs in 4 out of their last 5 at Chase Field. Of course, at the plate, the D-backs are a top 5 run-scoring team. Eugenio Suarez with 26 homers, 69 ribbies. Josh Naylor hits 304. Meanwhile, the Giants on the other side, they've been patient at the dish this season. Top 3 in walks per game in the box. Elliot Ramos with an on-base percentage in the mid-300s. Wilmer Flores with the most RBI in the clubhouse. When it comes to the total, Arizona games went 60% to the over in their last 10. I like the over 8 runs. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. White Sox-Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern start. The Dodgers are minus 320, totals 9 runs. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, Sean Burke for Chicago. Burke's just 4-7, ERA in the 4s. And out of 42 ball games away from Rate Field, the Sox have posted a record of just 9-33. They've yet to reach double-digit wins on the road, and they're facing a Dodger club who's been tough to beat in Los Angeles. They're 31-14 at Dodger Stadium, averaging nearly double-digit hits a game on their own field. Shohei Ohtani with 30 homers, 55 ribbies, OPS in the thousands. And Will Smith has an on-base percentage in the 400s, OPS of 949. And because of that run support, starting pitcher Clayton Kershaw comes into today's start with an unblemished record on the year. Actually, a 4-0 record heading into Wednesday's start. Now, 3 out of the Dodgers' last 4 at home did get over the total, 67% to the over, and all of their contests in front of their own fans. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me Tampa Bay minus 1.5, over 9. Cardinals minus 135, under 8.5. I'm 4-0. My last 4 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium page. Tigers minus 150, over 8.5, game 1. Phillies plus $1, over 8.5, game 1. Brewers plus $1.15, under 8 in game 1. Phillies minus 140, over 8 in game 2. I like the under 9 in that Twins Marlins matchup. Tigers plus $1, under 8.5, game 2. Give me the over 8.5. Yankees, Blue Jays. Cincinnati plus $1.15, over 9. New York Mets plus $1.10, over 8.5, game 2. Angels plus $1.15, under 9.5. Rangers minus 145, under 9. Cubs minus 155, over 7.5. Astros minus 1.5, under 11. Royals plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. I like the over 8 in that Giants Diamondbacks game. And then give me the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9 runs. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And just a friendly reminder, if you do end up with a membership on my premium page, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.